Guys, I had a totally different video planned for you this week, but I just watched this video named Is Minimalism Dead by Sarah Dietschy, and I just had to talk about it because minimalism was at its peak in 2017, and we know that the world has changed so much since then. And I think that some of the ideas that went along with this movement were really toxic. And as someone who is on YouTube talking about minimalism, I want to separate some of the ideas that I think are really unhealthy and negative that need to die with 2017 minimalists and move into 2022 with some new ideas and get rid of all of those behaviors that are not helping any of us. As someone who lives in the minimalist space, I would refer to myself as a minimalist. I teach people all about the things that I think are wonderful about minimalism, but I think that there are some really toxic things that never get talked about. And I think that these are the things that people are talking about when they say minimalism is dead, and I think that's wonderful. Let's let them die there. Today, I'm going to talk to you about 5 things that I think are those toxic traits, starting with the first one, which I think is the most important, and that is creating cognitive dissonance. So when people start minimalism, they get rid of things just for the sake of getting rid of things. And even when I am working with clients who have compulsive hoarding or severe hoarding behaviors, I see this look come over their face, and I call it like zombie mode, because I know that they've stopped making decisions that are using their cognitive brain, and they're just moving through the process to get things gone. Now, of course, there are some homes where a lot of decluttering needs to happen, but we need that to happen in a way that is healthy and safe and is going to stop you from regretting those purchases. Sarah Dietschy talked about her friend.
In the name of minimalism, they would just get rid of everything. They would go through their things and they would sell this and sell that, but then a couple months later they would realize, oh wait, I actually kind of need that, and oh wait, I needed that camera, so they would buy it again. And then guess what? Oh, okay, I don't need this anymore. They would sell it, and then they would buy it, and they would sell it, and they would.
And that is because we are not using our thinking brain when we're decluttering. We are decluttering to get down to a number or an aesthetic, and that needs to die. There are all sorts of things that you need in your home for a season, and when that season is over, it's fine to let it go. But if that season comes around again, it's a good idea to hold on to those things. I have very few regrets about the stuff I have gotten rid of, and that is because I am really intentional, not just about what I bring into my home, but also about what I declutter and thinking about what will I use again in the future. Number 2 is minimalism created this aesthetic which was so beautiful, but it also disengaged us from function. It also completely alienated a whole set of people who are visual organizers and made them feel like their home wasn't good enough if there was any sort of items in sight. And that is just bonkers, because it will not last. If you are going for a certain aesthetic over what is actually going to serve you, it will fall over very, very quickly. And even if maybe you do like some hidden organization, if the rest of your family are just gonna keep pulling everything out, you are setting yourself up for a nightmare. So letting go of these preconceived ideas about what minimalism should look like and focus more on what I call selective minimalism, which is looking at those spaces where you do really need to pare down so a space is as functional as possible. So when you're moving through those routines every single day, things are easier, not harder, but that you also have all the things that you need to move through those routines. The bare minimum sometimes just isn't going to cut it, and that's one of the minimalism philosophies that has been quite detrimental to our community as a whole. Number 3 is shame around purchases. Now, I know if you told your friends you were going minimalist, if you've been telling people how wonderful it is, and then you get to the shop and you see something that really isn't 1000% necessary, there is a lot of guilt and shame that can come around making those purchases. And guys, let me tell you, I have a fairly minimalist home. I have a lot of kids, but I also have stuff that I just want for the sake of stuff. I have a burrito blanket.
I'm a burrito!
I have air fresheners, I have a robot vacuum, and maybe these things aren't 1000% necessary, but they are things that I want and love and use, and we need to break down this shame around having things in your home, having the things that you need around you, having the things you like, having the things that make you laugh. So if you are on a journey towards some form of minimalism or some form of decluttering, please understand that although you might change your purchasing habits to be more intentional, it's totally okay to have things that bring you joy, make you laugh, or make your life easier in any way. Number 4 is numbers don't actually matter. Now, there are some great resources that you can use about paring down your wardrobe or making sure that your kitchen is quite minimal. But at the end of the day, that number is so personal and it's going to fluctuate depending on your season of life. So I really encourage people to stay away from those numbers, just like on a fad diet where you're counting calories and everything is extremely, all the macros and all of that stuff that's going through your head takes up a lot of time. The same thing can happen in minimalism. If you are so focused on the numbers, you're not focusing on function or enjoying or seeing what's working right for your family because you're so concentrated on those numbers. There's no minimalist police, no one's knocking on your door to check how many coats you have in your closet.
Police! A little farther, bro. Good. We're good. Step back forward.
If you need some extra for a certain season, have it. And then when you feel like, hey, this is getting a little bit hard to handle, let that be your indicator, not this magical number that somebody else has made up for you who doesn't know you, that they're telling you this is going to be the right number for you. Use some of those as a really general framework if you need to at the beginning, but move away from anything that you feel is really constricting your ability to live and love your home. Number 5 is that whatever level of minimalism you are applying to your life, it is a journey, not a destination. It is not this perfect home that we need to live in. It is not this set of numbers that we need to have. It is not a Pinterest picture of what your lounge room should look like. Minimalism is about being intentional both with the things that you bring in your home and the things that you choose to let go of. I like to think of it as living with open hands, that I'm never so tightly shut that I can't declutter, and that I'm not letting the floodgates open so that everything comes into my home. And also just understanding that as those ebbs and flow of life come, that there's going to be this constant level of decluttering. Your kids are going to grow up. You are going to go through different hobbies. You are going to change sizes. All of these things are normal parts of life. And there's not just this one time declutter 80% of your stuff and all of your problems will be gone. Because I think that's what we've been sold. We've been sold if you do this, everything's gonna be great. And then when it's not, you either A, feel like a failure, or B, feel like you need to continuously keep up this facade that's not actually serving you. So do I think minimalism is dead, guys? Look, I don't. I think that we are all way better off knowing that we don't need to be consuming all of the time. But do I think that there are some toxic traits that I think should die with 2017 minimalism? Absolutely. Letting go of this perfectionist mentality, embracing whatever minimalism looks for you in this season, in your home, for no other reason than it is serving you well. And if it's not serving you well, get rid of it. Keep the books, keep the camera gear, keep your quilts and your crafts, but let go of anything that is not letting you do what you want to do, and finding what that balance looks like for you. That is what minimalism is. So if you are watching this today and you would like a little bit of minimalism inspiration, please feel free to join my members. We are actually going to have a members only watch party this coming Saturday. I'll leave all of the details down in the description box below for you guys. It's a great way to meet other like-minded people who just want to support you. We also have a Zoom call every single month where we just chat and love on each other. It's a great community. So if you would like to join us, all of the details are down below.